The RV Show USA is brought to you by Flagstaff, Rockwood, building better RVs, making smarter RVers.
I believe that dog people in general are pretty good people, usually pretty decent human beings. Did you know that National Dog Day is next week? It is. I did not know that until our guest told me about it earlier today. So what does that mean? Well, to talk with us about dogs, we have RV Nana from PPL Motorhomes on with us. Diana, I'll bet that many of the people who work at PPL, they got to be dog folks because they're all so nice.
You know, it's funny because there's something about dog people, and you can walk down the hall at PPL, customers are there, and the two things that gets everybody excited are dogs and babies. Oh my gosh, it's like, oh, how cute.
Yeah. You know, and I looked up when you texted me this morning, said about National Dog Day. I looked it up, and it's really a cool deal. Folks, it's next Thursday. It's really about I don't know whoever is behind it, but they are recommending that we don't overlook dogs that are in shelters, because shelter animals sometimes make the greatest pets. And they just suggest that the adoption of a rescue dog is a better choice than maybe buying one from a puppy mill. So I'm not trying to take a stand anywhere. I'm just saying that dogs are pretty good, and my dogs make me a better me, I think. So we're going to talk a little bit, Diana, about some ways to travel with your pets, some maybe do's and don'ts. We don't have anything scientific, just common sense, I think. But what are some of the things that observations that you make, some of the things that you see that can make people that travel with dogs have a better experience?
Well, it was interesting because the first thing I did when Courtney, who works with me at PPL, she was the one who said, let's do this photo contest for National Dog Day. It'll be so much fun. So I started doing some research. And where did I go? My handy dandy RV hacks book.
And
on page 212 is something I would have never thought about. But people who travel with a dog or a cat, either one, you need to secure that animal in a cage or hold it when you're retracting your slides. That a major problem is that an animal can get caught in the slides. I would have never thought of that, but leave it to them. They got it. So that's our hack of the week that I'm putting in here. So yeah. I think that's
cool. One of the things I see is as a campground owner, not all dogs make for good camping dogs, because dogs are like people. They have different personalities, and some of them, if they've never been at a campground, it's like putting somebody on Mars. There's so much stimulation, other sights and sounds and noises, and you've got to break your dog in, I suggest, very slowly into camping. Yes. Get them to love it instead of forcing them into this environment where they can just break a leash or run off and get lost.
Well, and I think you have to make them comfortable, because if you're into camping and you're going to take your dog with you, make sure you take their bed, their cover, their favorite toy. Mm-hmm. Get things that make them feel good about being a part of you, and give them a secure place. More things I read about said that one of the best places was under the dining room table in your dinette table in your RV. Perfect spot to put a little kennel back there for a smaller dog, but it's also a place where they can feel that they aren't going to get stepped on, squished, or anything else. But that's real important. The other thing is that you need to make sure before you take off for a long journey, do a couple test runs with them. Find out, is your dog going to get motion sick in the RV the whole time? You can have a miserable trip if that happens.
Yeah. And, I've heard that one of the first things you do is you don't take them even on a trip. You just take them into the RV, you turn the TV on, and you maybe take a treat or something and get them to climb up in it, jump up in it, and feel comfortable. And then when it's time to go camping, it's like we say, let's go bye-bye in the car. And I mean, they all want to go bye-bye in the car. And so you train them to want to go and want to behave and be a part of the group. But, at the campground, it drives me crazy when people will leave their dog locked up inside their camper and go for 3 or 4 hours. Bark, 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 bark. And it just drives everybody else crazy too.
Well, and it's interesting because you do want them to get acclimated to where they're going. But as far as the noise, one of the things I read about was using a fan. Put them, if they're going to stay in the RV, you want to make sure it's well ventilated anyway, not just the air conditioner. Make sure you leave a little window open or something, because we all know about power surges that you can have in an RV, and if the air conditioner goes off, you want them to be comfortable, or the heat in the wintertime.
Right.
But one of the things that I read about, and I've done it before with the dog in a house, was to put a sound machine, one of those white noise machines in the room. It blocks out all those little noises that keep them so tense. I read about one of the things that said to put lavender on their bedding, that's supposed to calm them down. Chamomile, lavender, there's so many different helpful hints that I can see. But traveling with your dog is fun. They love the water if they're at the beach or the lake. They love going, and a lot of them want to see all those new people, and they're excited about it. But you've got to figure out if your dog's going to be a happy camper or not.
You really do. And, dogs, like I said, dogs are similar in a way to people, because they come in different, they have different personalities. I'm not a professional, but I say that we as dog owners, we need to learn how to speak dog. But we need to learn what they're saying to us, because they communicate with us, whether they're hungry, they're angry, they're anxious, they've got to go outside, and we need to learn those cues and be sensitive enough to those cues. And the more sensitive we are, the better the dog is going to behave. And we also need to be aware that not everybody loves dogs like we do. And so
that's right.
Keeping them tethered, keeping them on a leash is important. And there's just a lot of things. And you gave a tip about the tag. Remember that, about their name on the tag?
Oh, yes.
In case
you need to make sure that you've got your name, their name, and your cell phone number on their tag. And another tip that I saw that sounded so neat: take a current picture of your dog and have it with you. If your dog does get away from you at a campground and you're trying to get people to help, well, he's a brown dog. He's a brown mix.
4 legs and a tail.
Yeah, that's it. But take that, make sure that you've got your current, this is real important. You've got to have your current shot record for them. There are some campgrounds that will not let you in unless you have the current shot records for your dogs.
Yeah, that's true.
That's important. And for cats, all these things, I'm not trying to say cats aren't important. There's a National Cat Day out there somewhere. I think it's in October. So,
it's October 31st, Halloween.
Right.
I'm kidding.
No, you're so bad. But
and I suggest that we take lots of, I call them the big dirty bags, the plastic bags to pick up after your dog. And there's a thing that I do when I go and take my dogs outside is I carry my bags, but I leave the bags hanging out of my pocket, Diana, where a plastic bag, if somebody looks over, they go, that guy's got a bag hanging out. Because I see a lot of people walking their dog. And I'm going, do they even have a bag? Not that, I'm just paranoid about it, I guess. And offer the bags to somebody else, because a lot of times people go, oh yeah, I did forget. That's so, right. Just be thoughtful, be aware, and the dog will be happier, your neighbors will be happier, and you won't have any disasters.
Well, and a lot of the leashes now, a lot of them don't want you to use the retractable ones. They want just a 6-foot leash if you're at some of the campgrounds. But you can put the little baggie holders on the leash. A little flashlight on the leash is real important too. When you're out there and you're at dusk and you go, oh, my flashlight's in the RV, I need it. That's a real good thing to have with you. And remember, just like we do when we go camping and we want to think about where's the closest exit, where's the closest emergency room, where's the closest vet, where's the closest shelter. If you had a flood or a natural disaster, where's the closest shelter that will take an animal?
You are. I know you've got to be putting together this list, some kind of a PDF or something, a list for people that do travel with pets. Tell me you are, right?
I did. Okay. I just started rattling off. This was one. That's the way I think. And I think, Alan, it was 3:00 this morning when I said I was doing all this ridiculous time. But if you go to the blog, RVnana.com, we are going to have that list up. It's probably up right now because David, who does that for me, is amazing. He takes care of everything. But it will be there, and it will be a work in progress because I've learned so much since I first started writing this just today. And that's how we do everything. We learn as we go. And that's part of the RV lifestyle. That's so much fun and life just in general.
Okay. And for everybody who's watching that, if you have a Facebook account, I would invite you to join a group, our biggest group called RV Tips. Miss Katie, if you can put a link up there, join the group RV Tips, because after the show, I'm going to make a post and pin it or make it an announcement at the top of the page. We're going to have a photo contest as we lead up to National Dog Day for next week. We want everybody that's in RV Tips, post one picture and give a little description, if you want, of your four-legged friend, of your dog, and the person that gets the most likes, Diana and PPO are going to send a $50 prize package of really cool stuff. So,
and there'll be some stuff in there for your four-legged friend too. But
absolutely,
we're excited, and we just encourage people. RVing is all about having fun, and we can get so bogged down in the everyday. Your guest earlier mentioned something about don't get so stressed out. Have fun and just share this and have a good time.
And you know what, Diana, I'm going to, when Matt comes over to Texas, I'm going to try to talk him into coming to PPL, not to do a review on this RV or that RV, but a review on the concept of the consignment sale thing, because, it's not for everybody, but I mean, it's certainly for me and for most people, but the concept of it, he's looking for great things to do. And he's never done a video like that. So he may tell me to go jump in a lake, but I don't think so.
Oh, my feelings were hurt that he didn't remember me, that I was in Texas. I tell you.
I was getting ready. I'm going, PPL. But I didn't hear it. So. But he did mention RV Station. So we got one of them. So anyway. All right. So you've got something big coming up that's going to be how to buy a used RV coming up in a couple of weeks.
I have it actually I'm going to have it this Saturday. I'm going to be in Galveston at the Galveston Island KOA. And on Saturday morning at 9:00, I'm going to be doing a class on how to buy a used RV. And it's not a PPL sales event. This is teaching you some of the things, whether you're buying from an individual, you're buying from a dealer, there's things you need to know, you need to be aware of. Our goal is to make you a happy camper. If you're a happy camper, you're going to enjoy this lifestyle going forward. You're going to share your excitement with your friends, and just come on out and see us too when you're in Texas.
All right. I guess you guys still need more inventory there at PPL, huh?
I do. Our inventory is sitting right about 500 right now, which is pretty darn good in considering everything that's going on. Sales have been great. And although we've had what I call the dog days of summer, this right before school starts and all the storms and everything else, we've had people out there. It'll be 9,500 degrees and they're out looking at RVs. We're so excited to have people there. So.
All right. Well, we're going to try to send out some more people and get some more units for you. So anyway, thank you so much for talking pets with us, and I will catch you soon. All right.
All righty. You guys have a great week, and don't forget to send us your pictures.
All right. Bye-bye, Diana. Thank you.
Bye.